And welcome back, everyone, to the Bart Winkler Show. Available wherever you get your podcast. Also available is BetMGM Tonight with Ryan Horvat. Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Early taping for us this week. Where the hell are you at? We're during our usual taping hours. Why are we calling an audible here?
So, as I've mentioned, but big news is that normally Horvat and I tape Thursday for the Friday show.
Yes.
Right. And I'll make sure to get out a bunch of tweets because I know when like Paul Charchian was scheduled for 105, but then he couldn't go till 110. We had to blast that out there so people knew. Okay.
Dude, how dumb. Really quick, can I say something on that? I don't mean to cut you off on your own podcast, and maybe I'll get in trouble for this, but who gives a shit, to be honest? And that's the only swear I got in me today, and I really didn't even mean to do it. I just left the dentist, and it was
who gives an S about what?
It was a lot more painful. The dumbest segment in sports talk radio history, and I do apologize to our guy, Kevin Payne, but if you have to call and ask some random stranger in his basement or in his car on his way to Arizona for fantasy football advice, don't play fucking fantasy football. Seriously.
How's that any different than what we're about to do right now, going through picks?
Oh my God, is that completely different? We're talking about like point spreads, picking like which teams you think are for real, which team maybe they're coming off a London game is going to fall apart against the Jets. That's completely different than, hey, who should I start? DK Metcalf or Brandon Cooks? Here's what you do, jerk-offs. You take a look at the and you take a look at the matchup, right? Oh, Brandon Cooks is playing against the 29th ranked secondary. Oh, DK Metcalf is playing against a really tough secondary in San Francisco this week. I'll go with the guy that's going against a bunch of guys that are going to be bagging groceries next season, the Kevin Kings of the world. Boom. There's your fantasy football team. Doesn't it? All I'm saying is, like, here's the thing. Like, it's your team, right? So, like, it's kind of like splitting a team with somebody. Like, that's your team. So, like, that's your creation. Like, I started playing fantasy football. I didn't even look at like projections. I just picked the dudes I liked. And I won it the first year I ever played in 7th grade. I had Brett Favre. I had Barry Sanders. I'm not kidding you. I just took the guys that I liked. So what I'm saying is,
you're playing against 7th graders and you like the NFL All Pros.
Isn't the fun like, okay, so if you're playing Madden, do you like pause the game in the 4th quarter? Oh, big third down, and like call your buddy in to like run the play for you? If you're playing fantasy football,
a lot of times in fantasy, people know the decision they want to make, but they just need somebody else to say it for them.
I'm cool with somebody tweeting. All I'm saying is, like, you know, I'm kidding, by the way. You know, as I say this,
no, that's the one I clipped for the internet. I'm going to clip that.
No, don't do that though, because I'll probably hurt somebody's feelings. And I'm not saying like, see, and that's the thing. Some people actually have good fantasy questions. I just thought that the segment.
Why are you backtracking? You have a take. Stick with it.
Like the whole freaking hour of a sports talk show should not be about fantasy football because here's
12 minutes. Get in, get out.
Here's the thing. All right, I'm cool with like the tweeting world or fantasy football columns. I want to have a segment on my show where I give out like fantasy sleepers, fantasy locks. That shit everybody needs help with. Here's the thing though. Here's what I'm saying, man. A whole hour dedicated to fantasy football. Let's say like my dad is listening to our show. Or let's say like old man Cliff, who doesn't give a crap about fantasy football, like even like sports betting. Like that's why I like that I do like a niche 4-hour show. Because if you don't care about sports betting, you don't have to listen. But why are we going to take an hour, you know, on the midday show to do fantasy football when like half the people just want to know, like, is David Bakhtiari going to be out on the field? Like, what are we going to do to finally win another damn game this season because we've lost to the 2 New York teams the last 2 weeks? Are we going to beat the Commanders? That's what I care about.
I really don't
care about Derek from West Bend. If he wants to start freaking Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, start the better receiver against the worst secondary, jackass.
How is that? So then with all these picks, pick the better team, jackass. Why do we need?
That's not how sports betting works. That's not how sports betting works. If you just pick the better team, then you picked against Atlanta every week, and you're broke as shit because they've covered every week.
If you just play money lines like Freems,
you will be broke. Okay, then you probably took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Steelers last week.
They were my survivor pick.
$400 to win 100.
Yeah.
Freems did do it the smart way though. He wouldn't do it like Tampa Bay against like the Steelers. He understood that in the NFL, fluky crap would happen. He would find like Fort Wayne State minus 27.5 and play them on the money line in like college hoops. He wouldn't do anything like, well, I mean, the whole concept is pretty ridiculous.
Like I did an interview that is going to air probably next week with the UWM coach, Bart Lundy, the new basketball coach. And their second game of the season is at Purdue. And I said, and you guys are favored in that game, right? And he's like, I don't look at that stuff. I go, you're not.
Yeah.
So that's when you money line Purdue.
Like, we don't expect you to score 18 points in the first half. But no, I'm not backtracking. I'm saying a 15 to 20-minute fantasy football segment, good and fine. I'm just saying that nobody driving in their car, that's automatic. I'm turning this crap off. Why do I care about somebody else? That's like when people tweet about their fantasy team. Oh, I got a big matchup tonight. I don't give a crap. I care about sports betting because it's completely different. Player props, boom, because that's money in your pocket right away. I don't care about like Daryl getting
with
money.
Fantasy, I think they're alone and they want to have that camaraderie. I don't know.
Like, I don't mind a tweet like, "Hey Horvat, should I start this guy or that guy?" Like, I do that myself. I text my brother, "Hey, you think I should go with this guy or that guy?" So I'm not ragging on I'm ragging on like an hour. Like, there's fantasy sports talk shows on like Sirius XM and crap. Like, go listen to that. Like a whole hour for fantasy football on a football Friday or a football Thursday. I'd rather listen to stories about the freaking Ice Bowl or take Aaron Rodgers clips and pretend like we're interviewing them. And then Aaron Rodgers said this. The stupid audio don't play. You got to double click it. Oh, I tried hard. Oh, great stuff. And then Aaron Jones had 15 carries for 72 yards. Here's what he had to say about the blocking. The blocking was good. Maybe I hate sports talk radio.
No, maybe you hate one specific show.
All right, let's do some picks.
Let's do some picks. Thanks to our friends at Golden Chicken and Hale's Corners, where you can get delivery and catering. 414-427-5500. Another great weekend coming up of sports. There's a lot of good college action. The baseball playoffs are in full swing, even though all the bad teams are advancing. That's okay. First of all, Golden Chicken, delicious.
Yeah.
Hale's Corners.
Yeah.
24-hour, 7-day-a-week catering. Delivery available.
Yeah.
GoldenChickenHC.com. God, I need to rip into what should I rip into next time I go there?
Oh, actually, really quick. You know what? We always talk about the mini tacos, which I love. The chicken, which I love that you could build your own bucket because I just like I don't like dark meat, so I love like 15 breasts. But my kid and my wife, they like dark meat, so like get them whatever they want. But my favorite thing, what I miss so much, dude, living here, East Coast, and this dump where I'm right down, I'm a couple hours away from New York. They've been pounding our football teams for some reason. But Friday, fish fry, man. There's no fish fry out here. You got the Friday fish fry at Golden Chicken too. 414-427-5500. You call, you pick it up, boom, you get it delivered. If you got 24/7 catering, you got everything you need.
That's what I was looking at. I went to the website to look at what I want to devour most.
Yeah.
And the cod fillet stuck out to me.
Oh, they're good. They're good. I love those.
So I'll have to check that
Way
out.
better than a fantasy football hour-long segment.
GoldenChickenHC.com. Check them out. Again, in Hale's Corners, 414-427-5500. Oh, baseball. How can we say I don't care. It's really dumb that the Phillies are playing the Padres. And then we're also like, oh, Yankees, Astros again. Do you want the good teams or do you not? What do you want?
I don't know. Why is I just sat on soy sauce. Gross.
Okay.
That was weird. So here's the thing with that.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for two teams to win it. Okay. I'm rooting for either the Phillies because they feature Kyle Schwarber, my second favorite player in Major League Baseball, World Series hero. They also feature Nick Castellanos, who I absolutely love. How do you not? He's been a part of some great moments in baseball history. Bryce Harper. I'm a Bryce Harper fan, man. And I love that he is kind of the villain, but he's like a nice guy. Like he's not, if he's on your team,
like me, I'm a villain, but I'm a great guy.
Right. Like you're the kind of guy, like if you're working for our team, we love you. But if we're going against you, then we hate you. And then the other team on the American League, I don't care that they're the Yankees, kind of rooting for the Yankees because they feature Anthony Rizzo, my favorite player in Major League Baseball. But I think the Phillies, Padres, that's great. The only thing with the Padres, I wish Tatis didn't take steroids, so he was on the roster because I like this Padres team, man. And I like Tatis. I don't care that he did steroids. Hell, I'd do steroids right now.
People are like
steroids on this podcast. I'll do a cycle.
People are, and I'll drop some CBDs, some Delta Zeros.
I just do that because it's Wednesday.
Delta O's.
Do that on my window, yeah.
Delta 9s. Someone was like, Tatis, that's going to stick with him forever. Who cares?
It is, though. Yeah, I know.
Oh, what? So 90-year-old writers aren't going to. Oh, speaking of old writers, they kicked your boy Hub Arkush out of the Hall of Fame or of the AP voting.
You know, you're like the sixth person that's told me this today. And here's the thing, all right? I actually feel really bad because Hub is probably the nicest dude that we've ever dealt with ever. I've heard nothing but great stories from the people in Chicago that, like, when you work his show.
Been great to me.
Dude, and like anytime we needed him, always got right back to us. Him, love. Shout out to Scott Miller. I don't know if he's still with Bleacher Report because I don't care about baseball. I don't pay attention. Oh, by the way, I do host the BetMGM MLB podcast, although I don't know because I think Cody is with Craig Carton now. And then, and then I forgot what I was even talking about.
I still haven't answered your question that we're taping this on Wednesday because it's going to air on Thursday. So we will get a Thursday night pick. However, disclaimer, there could be some line movements and injury news that we're not quite aware of as they haven't happened yet. But because Friday's show will actually be taped on Thursday night, it will be a YouTube show after Bucks Sixers. So we're going to do it live on YouTube, and then that'll be the podcast.
That's why I had to change my schedule around because of NBA basketball.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
There's 82 of these things, man.
It's the first one.
We only have 10 more weeks of picks.
Let me
11.
take you out of the podcast studio and bring you into the business corner of this podcast.
Okay, hold on.
Room. Let me just, I got to tell you this. Horvat, people have been dying for a Bucks postgame show now for years. Beautiful. Okay. People have been dying for a Bucks postgame show for years.
Yeah.
If I do one, that's more space for me, bro.
Yeah, that's a good point. Are you going to do
trying to grow the pod?
Seems like a big commitment, though. That's 82.
Oh, I'm not doing everyone. I went through the schedule. I'm not doing everyone. I'll do the big ones during the week. I'm not doing the weekend ones.
Oh.
We have the same background for those of you on YouTube.
Well, you said, can we go behind the scenes? So I thought, like,
here, I got a stain on the carpet back there.
I feel like when I use this one, I'm in 21 Jump Street.
We did this bit 2 weeks ago.
All right. Well, let's do some freaking picks then. I got stuff
Thursday night football, a game that people think might actually be good. I don't know what the line is, but I'm taking Arizona, and I'm taking 2 touchdowns of DeAndre Hopkins for those of you playing fantasy.
Well, you're a big dummy. I'm taking the Saints. So this opened up where the Saints were 3-point dogs, right? And then it went down to 1.5. Saints, some money comes in on the Saints. Now it's back up to 2.5. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins comes back this week for the Cardinals, we think, at time of taping, right? He does. He's coming back from suspension. He also allegedly accidentally took some stuff you're not allowed to take. Big whoop. You want to fight about it? Anyway, so Kyler's much better when he's on the field. Cliff Kingsbury's a mess. Hearing that Cliff Kingsbury doesn't want to be there next year, he's actually like pretty much doing the thing where George like wants to get fired, man, because he wants to go back to the college game because it's not working out, man. And I know that people always rip Kyler, especially now that he got paid, but I like Kyler. I'd take Kyler, especially now that Aaron Rodgers is pretty much cooked. I'd take Kyler. Kyler in the right system, hell yeah. Cliff stinks, and I know this seems like an easy bet, but I'm going to take the Saints. I took the Saints +3. I'd still take them at 2.5. Saints are a good team. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them right now. They're 2-4. I mean, they're all beat up. They're all injured. You never know if Michael Thomas is going to play. You never know if Landry is going to play. You really never know.
Thomas.
He's one of those guys that's just never going to be healthy.
He's always out. He pretends to be questionable on Monday.
Yeah.
And then they rule him out later in the week, every week.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints. Took them last week. Didn't work out. So going to take them again here, though. +3 if you could get it. At 2.5, consensus pick, I'll still take them. What about this
going as Kyler for Halloween?
You're going to be him?
Toby.
He's going to be Kyler?
Yeah.
I like that. That's a
It looks
good.
like him.
Yeah. I'm surprised he's not going to be like Heineke. Heineke.
Heineke's gonna boat race us this weekend.
Oh yeah, we're gonna lose this week.
I know.
Yeah, I'm betting against us again. I bet you know my rule is I never bet against the Packers. I had to take the Jets last week. You're telling me this team's 7.5 points better than
bet? You bet against them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said
a little birthday scratch.
No, well, you know what I thought?
No, that was the Giants.
No, yeah, no. On my birthday, I bet on them. Remember, I said I don't ever really bet them when they're over a touchdown favorite because I know how that goes. But I figured they were going to hammer the Giants, and they didn't. They didn't. Dude, the first half, I was so excited. I was like, hell yeah, because when you look at it, man, on standard downs, Packers were actually one of the best offenses in the league. Where they fall apart is like on all the scripted stuff. They fall apart, though, after the
too complicated. They got to simplify it.
What was he talking about, man?
Dude, I'm telling you, he is an idiot.
It's not nice. I love him.
Did you hear what Silverstein wrote today?
Right here.
He's like, Rodgers does this. He says things.
Where would I read
threads the needle on this, where he can always have plausible deniability and never say he was saying the thing he was trying to say.
Yeah,
Rodgers is a con artist. Rodgers is a fraud.
Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs. I couldn't tell you where I would have just read Silverstones. So, no, I didn't read that, but I have watched this guy behind me for the last decade plus of my life, and he's given me some of the best moments in my life. So, Rodgers, greater sign any Packers beat writer, any writer on this planet, even over SVP. Whoa, we're all zoomed in. It's like Wayne's World.
Whoa.
I'm going to do that right now, though. I just left the dentist, and I feel like really crusty.
All right, give me the Sunday matchups.
All right, let's start with this one. Our boys, they're 5-1. Hey, let's do this. The boys are 5-1. They opened as 1.5-point dogs. Even though they're 5-1 and they're playing a 2-4 team on the road in the Jags, that's moved all the way up to 3. What I did here on the opener, I took the Jags on the money line. I guess I'll take the Jags still at the 3, but I do think the Jags win this game. I do think here's where the Giants come back down to earth a little bit. The Jags have looked like absolute dump. Their seasons, this is a big game for them, man, because the Colts, that was a huge win for them to finally beat the Jags last week. And now you got the Colts and the Titans playing this week, a game we're going to talk about here in a second. I think Jacksonville's going to put up some points on that defense. I like the Jags this weekend, -3.
-3?
2-point favorites, yeah.
I'm going to make this double cluck. I am going to ride the Jaguars with you, the Jaguars.
The Jugs.
I think that the Giants are worthy of their record. I think that they're earning it, but also they're winning some games that are close, and it comes down to coaching, and, you know, you're not always going to win those games. But I do need a big game from Daniel Jones, as Josh Allen's on a bye for me, and I spent 26 of my budget on Daniel fucking Jones.
Yeah, buddy.
The next highest bid was 0, but, you know, you can never be too safe these days. So I need Daniel Jones to have a big day, maybe rush for a touchdown, but I do like Jacksonville at home under a guy who nobody ever talks about in the league, Trevor Lawrence. He's been in the league for a year and a half, and he's the most invisible player that the league has.
I think they want you to forget that we were hyping this dude up like he is Andrew Luck. You know, he's not Andrew Luck, unfortunately. I don't really like Trevor Lawrence. Also, I didn't like Trevor Lawrence, and I'm also a Notre Dame fan, but I love guys that pound Notre Dame. Like, I like that USC team, even though, you know, the Bush push was illegal at the time. I loved Reggie Bush. I loved Lendell White. I loved Clay. I loved all those linebackers. They were juicing, well, allegedly. I mean, yeah, Brian Cushing was.
Brian Cushing's head exploded.
Yeah, he got popped like 2 times. I don't have to say allegedly with him. That's like saying Barry Bonds was allegedly juicing. The guy's head literally was as big as.
Who was the guy in baseball? Was it Kevin Mitchell? No, I'm thinking of Sean Merriman.
Lights out.
Remember the pictures of Sean Merriman, like first year in the league? Like, you look at the picture of Giannis first year, 10th year, and he's put on a lot of muscle weight. But Sean Merriman's head expanded by like 3 sizes.
Yeah, but you could tell Giannis, like, you could tell when somebody's natural, though. Like, that's like, you know, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I got like buddies back home that like they lift for a living, which I know is like something I don't even want to admit, but they like run gyms, you know, they're like, and they run them for like the high school football team. So I shouldn't rag on them, but there's some people that like go in there and my friends will always be like, yeah, man, he's natural. And it's like the guy looks like Scott Steiner, where he's got a fucking bicep on his bicep. You're like, come on, that is not natural. Yeah. Nobody on this planet, you would have to sit there. And I know some people actually do this. You know who I hate really quick? I hate the guy at the gym, and I know you wouldn't know about this, but I hate the guy that carries around his jug of fucking water. Is there a person that's worse than the guy that carries around the jug of water? Like, come on, man.
How do you feel about the recent trend of water bottles? Maybe you have one of these where it shows you how much you should be drinking throughout the day. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, my wife bought me one of those, and I got to be honest, man. Like, I don't care. I don't want to drink that much water. Then I'm pissing nonstop. It's like the middle. Like, I got to get up and I'm watching a movie and I got to piss. Like, if I'm gonna be going to the bathroom every 30 minutes, I want it to be because I'm drinking like some rum and cokes, or I'm on my like 15th. Whatever. I've been drinking a lot of Guinness lately.
Ooh,
especially during Notre Dame games, and I need it because I got Jack Collinsworth and the Clapper on the call, and my team blows. Anyway, speaking of teams that blow, we thought the Atlanta Falcons were going to blow this year. They went from being 10-point dogs on the look ahead all the way down to 6-point dogs because they've covered in all 6 games. They're 3-3. They're actually tied with Tampa Bay atop that division, which is a great story. I'm rooting for them, but all that to say, man, I have 2 favorites because I bet Cincinnati. This went down to 6. I think this is a good spot for the Bengals at home. I think they figured some things out despite Zach Taylor being a complete boob. I love Joe Burrow. I wish I would trade right now, as much as I love Aaron Rodgers. I would trade Aaron Rodgers. We could build the time machine, go back 5 years ago. And even though, we had some good years, those 2 MVP years, they just ended in heartbreak. I'd trade Aaron Rodgers for Joe Burrow.
But if you went back 2 years, nobody would say that. That's the problem. You'd all do it now because Burrow's young and Rodgers is dying, but nobody would have said it 2 years ago.
Well, no, that's the point. I'm like half kidding, but I would trade Joe.
I'm not. People have been waiting to bail on Rodgers, and now that he's had a few good bad games in a row.
I think Rodgers is going to be fine, to be honest. I do think, though, that I think that there's change needed because I when I watch him try to throw the deep ball, I see like Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning. That's really concerning.
Yeah, his deep ball has been atrocious.
Yeah, and the thing is, man, like he doesn't, and that's the thing. I don't want him like sitting in the pocket, like scanning down the field.
Well, our line is, outside of Denver, we have the worst line right now in the league.
It's hard to really judge.
Denver's line is trying to get Russell Wilson murdered. Ours just sucks.
Other than Jair Alexander 80% of the time and Rashawn Gary 150% of the time, I have nothing nice to say about anybody on this roster. Oh, and Aaron Jones. I mean, how do you say anything wrong about the guy? Like, I know he really couldn't get anything going on the ground, but he had 3 carries going into the freaking half. And every time there is the run blocking is shit. The pass blocking is crap. I worry a little bit about I don't know who's any good anymore on that offensive line. I mean, Elton Jenkins needs to be switched over. Bakhtiari
is broken. He's broken. Rodgers broken when he made a play against the Lions last year. Nobody cares. People forget.
All right, let's get some picks in. I'm going Bengals -6 against Atlanta.
I like that one as well. It is my no cluck of the week, as I will just take the -6.
All right, here's another one I bet. I got an underdog for you. The Detroit Lions are coming off a bye. Dan Campbell, he may be a fraud. This Lions team, everybody loved him because they were on Hard Knocks and they were doing up downs with the coaching staff. I told you, dude, that stuff's cute in the preseason. When you start 1-4, nobody wants to hear, the stories about dragging your man through the finish line and, your arm getting blown off in war. They just want to win football games and make money. But Dak comes back. I think Dak's going to be a little shaky to start. Also, if you asked, should the Cowboys stick with Cooper Rush, don't ever watch football again or take a frying.
James Jones said that.
Who?
James Jones said that they should play Cooper the next 2 games, get the bye.
Yeah,
and then
James Jones, he's also picked the Packers to win the fucking Super Bowl the last 4 years, all right? He says they're going to be fine. I don't think this team is going to be fine.
I wasn't going to swear today, shit fuck bitch.
Well, when we win a damn game, I'll stop swearing. How about that? When we beat a team that finished with above 7 wins last year, 6 wins last year, I'll stop swearing. All right, put one of those no safe for work shits on here. Lions +7 is my triple of the week. Lions are going to cover the spread. You know what? Lions are going to win this game in Dallas in Jerry's world. Goff's going to beat them. Yep. Jamal Williams. We should still have Jamal Williams. Instead, we have A.J. Dillon, who looks like Mike Allstott, but runs like Warwick Dunn's niece. Yeah. That's a good take.
What's the line on this?
Yeah. Oh, but he eats at Door County. He eats the wings here. I don't give a shit. Run through the hole. +7. Lions.
+7. I'll take Lions +7.
Like, have you ever seen anybody go down like that big? Like, use those freaking legs, dude. And
he's running in quicksand, Horvat.
Derrick Henry 6'5". Here's another dog I got for you. Everybody loves the Titans this week. Everybody we've had on my show. They have went from a pick to 2.5-point favorites. Now is the time. Colts are going to get hot. Everybody keeps ragging on Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan sucks on the road. He sucks on the road.
Yeah, not this week. You know the song "End of the Road" by Boys to the Men?
I'm going down
Boys to the Men
to the end of the road.
You know who I always wanted to be? The guy that doesn't even sing in the group. He just comes on at the end, and he's always like,
baby,
he's always
the
like,
things I think about you are I just look at you and I salivate for you, girl. I'm going down.
I didn't know that was your sister. I was just so drunk. Come back to me. He's always begging for the girls to go back to him because he's always effing up.
Baby, I screwed up for that knife.
You know who else is always effing up? Ryan Tannehill, like he effed up in that playoff game against.
I'm starting him in a league too instead of Josh Allen. I'm taking I don't know where my theory line's in. I don't know if the Titans are, because I always take them when the public fades, and I guess I would have to go against them. But I don't like Matt Ryan on the road, so I am going to take Tannehill, and I like a big day out of Bobby Woods.
Hey, I got a question for you. Which head coach would you rather have? All right. In an alternate universe, former offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, Matt LaFleur, current Packers head coach, or coach of the year, Mike Vrabel?
I think Matt LaFleur might not be a good coach.
I think Mike Vrabel is a very good coach.
I think Mike Vrabel also knows that he's a good coach and sometimes tries too hard, if that makes sense.
I agree, but also, like, look what he's working with, like Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, they were the 1 seed last year. How do both of those guys have the 1 seed last year? Their teams suck now.
I like LaFleur, right? I just think that his teams are extremely soft, and when we get punched in the face and we look soft, he goes to the podium and like he kind of like
same thing.
He looks like he wants to cry, and like I want to see somebody that goes up there like, I mean, hell, at least the big guy, at least the dummy. And I'm not. You know what? McCarthy's been all right this year. I'm
with Cooper Rush, and he knew he was going to lose that game against the Eagles, but he just went out there and had a good time.
He's not a good coach, but say what you want, man. His teams are resilient as you know what, and he has some moments. And at least when he goes to that podium, he can make he could shit down his leg, piss down his leg like he did in the NFC title game against the Seahawks. But he's gonna go up there and he's gonna defend the crap out of himself and that football team. I'm a highly successful football coach. I want to
be very clear with you, Horvat. I do not condone bullying. I think that the ramifications of it can last much more than just in that instance. They can last a lifetime and affect future generations. That being said, when it comes to football coaches, I'd rather have a coach who was doing the stuffing into lockers rather than being the kid that got stuffed into lockers. And I think Matt LaFleur has seen the inside of one too many lockers growing up. That guy needs a bully mentality because the Packers are right now crammed inside a locker.
No. I don't think so. I think LaFleur was like he's always, I think
social media team clip that one.
No, LaFleur. I love LaFleur. I don't want to sit here and I think he's still a great dude. All he's done is won 13 games, and he's been to 2 NFC championship games. And we should have won those games if Rodgers doesn't go rogue and start throwing.
Or if we had a coach who knew how to keep Rodgers in check,
but all right. I do think that they're like too buddy, which I don't like. I'd rather have them like MFing each other like they were like.
But they're like frenemies.
But here's the only thing that worries me a little bit about LaFleur, and when I call his team soft, man, look at the teams that like have been beating the crap out of us, like the Niners in the playoffs twice, and we get bullied in those games. And then LaFleur goes to the podium and looks like really sad, while Shanahan, his boy, is like flexing his nuts on him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're the tougher team, And like, I love Shanahan. So hold on. So then last Sunday, the Jets beat us, and Robert Saleh is like literally like flexing and headbutting his players, and then goes to the podium and he's like, "They're soft. We knew if we kept hitting them with body blows." This is like a direct quote. They weren't going to get back up. And then he's like said something that kind of scared the shit out of me. Like, I think he may be like a serial killer. He was like, "We took him underwater and they couldn't breathe anymore," or something like that. But like, that's LaFleur's. That was the best man, or he was the best man in his wedding. And that's what they're saying about his football teams. They're soft. We took them underwater. We punched them. They know that about their best friends' football teams.
Yeah.
So like, what does that say about LaFleur? Is he like the soft one of the group? Like he's the designated driver? Not that there's anything wrong with that. We all need one. I've been one before, but like he's the dude that like
he's the lookout kid.
Like everybody else gets the chicks, and he's like in the living room, like playing video games with the little brother.
Yeah. I don't want that as a coach.
No, I want Saleh. I want like that. Like we punched him in the damn nose, because those are the teams that always beat us in the playoffs.
These meathead, hard-nosed football coaches are some of the dumbest individuals in the world. But since all of them are dumb at math anyway, I'd rather have the meathead than the little pipsqueak.
Yeah. Well, because those are always the teams that beat us. We never get beat by the more talented, faster team. We have Aaron Rodgers every year, Devontae Adams. Our offenses are averaging, 28, 31 points a game. Our defense is a little soft. We go to the playoffs. Look at the teams that beat us. It's never like, look at the quarterbacks that beat Aaron Rodgers, right? Russell Wilson, who stinks. Let's be honest. Colin Kaepernick out of the league. Now, he should be in the league, but we know how that went down. And he kind of like, they figured out that, that you could defend Colin Kaepernick.
The thoughts expressed of Ryan Horvat do not reflect the thoughts of the podcast. Bart Winkler,
the Seahawks
is saying nothing about Colin Kaepernick outside he's from Fond du Lac. And if my dad was a Fond du Lac soccer coach, he would have recruited Kaepernick, and Kaepernick would have never played NFL, and Kaepernick would have played MLS, which no one cares about.
Oh my God, shut up. So hold on. Hear me out. Niners with Patrick Willis and all those dudes kick the crap out of us every year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Tougher team. This goes back. Hold on. This goes way back before LaFleur. All right. And then you got the Niners. You got the Seahawks, the Legion of Boom. Tougher team. All right. You have those Giants teams. Is Eli a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers? No. Those teams were tougher. Right. And then you look at the last couple of years, man. It was San Francisco. And then it was Tampa Bay. And they probably should have won that game, but the offensive line was all beat up. Rodgers got the crap kicked out of him. That was probably the best playoff loss I think that Rodgers has played. I know he didn't really show up in the first half, but he was getting the crap kicked out of him, and he led him back in the second half. Last year, terrible against a Niners team, and it was always, we got to get one of these at home. We got to get one of these at home. Nobody wants to come to Lambeau. Everybody wants to come to Lambeau because it's a soft as shit team playing in the cold weather. Oh, nobody wants to see A.J. Dillon in January. Everybody wants to see A.J. Dillon in January. Aaron Jones runs harder than A.J. Dillon. What is Aaron Jones being punished for calling out the play calling a couple weeks ago? Is that why he had 3 carries? Is there something that we don't know about going on? Because he's the best player on the fucking football team. Get him the football. Let's do some picks, unless you have anything to say.
I do. I'm tired of Aaron Rodgers calling Matt LaFleur Matt and Brian Gutekunst Brian. He should be saying Coach and Mr. Gutekunst.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins practice on Wednesday.
Oh, great. So he'll be available until week, 8? He's dust.
All right, pick away. What game did we just not do?
We both like the Bengals. Do you like the Lions, or are you going Cowboys?
Rawr.
Lions?
Well, unless you thought that was a McCarthy sex noise, I took the Lions roar.
Thought that was McCarthy getting a deep massage, deep tissue. Oh, no, that shit, man. Now you got me all fired up. We did Colts Titans. I'm picking. You're going against me, I'm guessing. You're going Titans.
Yeah, I'm taking the Titans.
Although this is a game everybody's kind of expecting them to win, man. Does that change your mind?
No, because now they all know about my theory.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cleveland stinks. Other than Nick Chubb, they're so fun to watch run the football. They can't stop the run. They're bad. And Stefanski sucks too. Stefanski stinks. 6.5-point dogs in Baltimore. Baltimore finally wins a home game, and they cover here. Ravens -6.5 for me. Lamar's been bad too. All my guys are sucking this year.
The Browns, I don't know if you guys remember this, but the Browns, they moved to Baltimore to become the Ravens. And the NFL, the NFL kept the all the stuff, and then Cleveland came back 3 years later as an expansion team. Don't you think, like, if you're a Ravens fan, you're offended that the Browns exist? Like, we are you. You can't come back. Screw you. I think the Ravens win big.
The Kansas City Chiefs opened up as 1-point favorites. They are now 3-point favorites on the road, taking on the San Francisco 49ers. I like the Chiefs to bounce back here. I think the Niners will be a popular pick. I'm going to be chalky here. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes over Jimmy Garoppolo, who looked like dump last week.
Niners are very chalky, or the Niners are going to be a very popular pick. I think that people will look at the game in Atlanta and say that was a fluke. I think they're going to come home, and I think they're going to put up enough points to not put up enough points against the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs. Is that 1.5?
It's 3. They're 3-point favorites now.
Okay. Then I was going to make it my triple cluck and put it up to 5.5, 4.5.
With the Chiefs?
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that. Golden Chicken in Hales Corners, goldenchickenhc.com, delivery and catering, 414-427-5500.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They got their French fries piled high.
You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 11-point favorites on the road taking on the Panthers. The Bucks probably get right. You know what?
11 points?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Panthers.
11 points?
What if they trade? Because we're recording on Wednesday, what if they trade like Brian Burns, Christian McCaffrey?
They won't.
I was thinking, since we didn't get Robbie Anderson, even though all it would have cost was a 6th-round pick.
I didn't want him. Guy sucks.
Not with Aaron Rodgers,
DJ Watkins sucks.
Sammy Watkins is 98 years old in football life, man. He's dust. Sammy Watkins is nice.
The Buccaneers, I'm going to take them to win, but God, 11 points. They haven't done it because I think the Buccaneers turnaround is coming, but this is one of those things where I'm not going to bet on it until it's already happened. I'd rather be too late on the Bucs than too early, so I'll take the Panthers to cover.
Same here. So we're both on the Panthers plus 11. The Packers should trade for Christian McCaffrey, even though we don't need another running back, just because he'd probably be the best wide receiver on the team. Did you know his dad, Ed, was a former Bronco?
Did you know his brother, Max, was a former Packer?
Yeah.
So I think the Packers, this is what I'll do this in Madden and report back. But I think if they trade for McCaffrey, line him up as receiver number 1, line Jones up as number 2, move Amari Rodgers to the backup running back and A.J. Dillinger lead back, I think they'd be better.
There's a lot there. None that I think actually would help. The Jets are 1-point dogs. You know what's funny? When this line opened up in Vegas before the season, the Jets were 7.5-point dogs. That's all the way down to a pick now. That's how bad the Broncos suck and how good the Jets have been. They're 4-2. The Broncos are 2-4. I'm going to take Denver, though. I'm going to take Denver to win this game. I think we're buying into the Jets now because they beat a bad Packers team.
I like how many Delta 9s are you popping there? Pick of the week. HappyPlaceHemp.com, by the way. Promo code BART, 25% off every order you ever get there. HappyPlaceHemp.com, promo code BART. Because it's the Mile High City. Yeah. And I think the Denver Broncos, who have all these primetime games, by the way, because they were thinking Rodgers might be there. Instead, it's the worst version of Russell Wilson ever. I'm going to take the Broncos to beat the Jets.
Same here. The Texans are 7-point dogs. There's something. I mean, come on now. The Texans off a bye, 7-point dogs. The Raiders are 7-point favorites. It almost makes you feel like the Raiders are the right side here. Gosh, dude. What are you picking?
Speaking of Raiders, there is a commercial.
We just not pick this game.
I'm
kidding. You know what? I can't pick the Raiders to win by. Give me the Texans plus 7 out of principle here.
There is a commercial that Devontae Adams is in. It's not Taco Bell. I forget who it's for. But in the commercial, he jumps into the stands, into Raiders fans. I feel like that commercial was written in mind with him being in Green Bay, and they're just like, screw it. We'll put these as Raiders fans. Next time you see that commercial, think of me.
Okay. I'll do that.
I haven't had Taco Bell in 2 months.
Why? That's a good thing.
I've had a lot of Hot Pockets, though. I'm actually going to crush the steak and nacho one coming up. I know they're unhealthy, and I know that they have a bad rap, but the food's fucking good, man. Not as good as Golden Chicken, but it works in a pinch.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Raiders.
Okay. -7.
Sorry.
Okay. The Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Some line movement here on a Wednesday. Seahawks go from 7 to 6.5-point dogs in this game. Chargers 6.5-point favorites. I'm taking Seattle. I love Seattle, man. I do. I love Geno. I actually
love
like
Ken Walker, Michigan State.
Oh God! What you play him in daily fantasy or whatever you're doing this weekend? Give me. I think the Seahawks might win this game. You know what? Give me the Seahawks plus 220. I'm actually not going to bet that with my own money, but I think they're going to win this game. I think Geno's going to throw for 450 yards.
I think Brandon Staley
Jackson got benched, dude.
Brandon Staley, when normal 15-year-old boys were stuck in the bathroom for too long doing explorative things with their body, Brandon Staley was locked in the bathroom making out with a calculator. Guy's a nerd. Get him out of this league. He sucks. I'm taking the Seahawks.
The Steelers coming off a win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kenny Pickett knocked out of that game. Mitsubishi. Magnum, let's call him Magnum Mitch. 7-point dog on the road. The Dolphins, 7-point favorites. The Dolphins bounce back fine. I'm such a baby. The Dolphins made me cry. But the Steelers cover the 7.
No, Dolphins defense goes crazy. They are playing this is a weekend celebrating the 1972 team. It's the 50th anniversary.
Oh, okay. So
do the Eagles play this week or are they on a bye? They're on a bye.
Eagles got a bye, which sucks because I love watching them.
I would have taken them to lose because I'm taking the Dolphins, and I'm taking not 1, not 3, but 2 defensive scores.
The Bears.
And this is actually my golden chicken fish fry of the week because the Dolphins are going to fry the Steelers.
All right. I got to pick up. I got stuff going on, and we got 6 minutes to get these in. I don't care about this game. The Patriots are 8-point favorites against the Bears.
Well, then let's just go through them. Oh, we only have 2 more left, right?
Yeah, we just got this one in back.
Okay, I'm taking the Bears to cover.
God. Yeah,
Packers?
me too.
Packers?
I'll go Bears. All right, Packers, 5.5-point favorites.
I told Toby that Washington is going to cover. They're going to win. It's going to be a last-second drive where the Packers have like a 4-point lead. Enough where Washington needs a touchdown. Taylor Heineke. Toby told me this. Washington always runs to the left. They always do. So at the end of the game, Washington's going to have the Packers think they're running left with Gibson or Robinson or Jarrett Patterson if he's still alive, the kid from Buffalo. And then Heineke's going to roll out to the right, touchdown. The 20,000 fans there go crazy. Packers lose.
Shut up.
That's what I said. So,
yeah, you know what though? Nah, I think they put their foot down.
I wish they could, but I don't trust them enough to.
This team is not here. I'm very concerned on my concern meter. I'm an 11 out of a 10, right? But as bad as things are right now, it's the Commanders, dude. It is the Commanders.
But they don't have Carson Wentz. They got Heineke. Heineke's going to scare them. They've probably been prepping for Wentz for a month. Now they're not going to know what to do with a guy that can move.
You know what pains me to say? My pick is Washington plus 5.5. I hate this season of football.
Yeah, it's bad.
Heineke was a Packers fan. Remember, they did the whole thing when he scored the touchdown at Lambeau, but then they wiped out the touchdown and he did the Lambeau leap. He was embarrassed, right? Now he wants revenge. He's been thinking about that moment. I heard he went back to his hometown, went to Dollar Bear Night at Garnsey 4, and they were like, "Hey, Heineke," and he was like all excited, like, "Yeah, what's up? You're selling insurance, Danny. You're a fireman, which is cool, Cliff. But I'm an NFL quarterback. Granted, I'm a backup quarterback. You guys saw me on national TV, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call. I scored a touchdown at Lambeau Field." And then they're like, "Hey, Heineke, you stupid loser. Remember when you slid before you got into the end zone, jackass?" And he's been thinking about that moment since July, since that night. Maybe Susie was there. Maybe he had a crush on Susie sophomore year, thought it was his big chance. She just broke up with Jay, the guy that owns the gym down the street. the guy that drinks the C4 and carries around and he's circling off how much water he's drinking. Heineke was embarrassed. So what does he do? Torches the Packers on crossing routes. Terry McLaurin finally jumps off the freaking milk carton. He's been out for my fantasy team. 11 receptions against, for some reason, Jair will be on Curtis Samuel over on the right side. And freaking we'll have Stokes playing 25 yards off the ball of Terry McLaurin. Commanders win 31. No, that's way too many points. Commanders win 21-13.
I think I had 23-20.
Rodgers throws 2 picks.
Hey, so is liquid death just water that is supposed to look like alcohol?
I don't know. Everybody drinks this. I don't know. I drink like, normal
just water.
Shit. Yeah. I just drink like, hey, it's like I'm going to get a water. If I'm feeling frisky, maybe I'll do like a Gatorade, but no cals because sugar makes
If that's what it took to get meatheads to buy water, whoever their marketing team is a genius.
Liquid death. I don't want to like say anything mean because maybe they'll like want to do something.
Well, they sponsor some of the shows on Blue Wire Network, so I don't want to rip on them either because I want that moolah, but I genuinely had a question.
I don't even know how much longer they're going to let me come on this podcast. I'm just going to shut my mouth right now.
Yeah, I do wonder that too.
All right,
Curtin Long debuting soon. Good name. Good name, Curtin Long.
You like that?
I do.
I came up with it, not.
All right. Ryan Horvat. Thanks, buddy.
See you, dude.